Hey folks, it's Cement once again, and if you're wondering about the lighting, it's actually a time of day where I couldn't sleep, so I said fuck it, and then decided to do this review. Why not? For Jean-Claude Van Damme's newest film, Kill 'Em All. Now, for those who don't know, I am a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan, to the point I did a marathon of reviews, which I have a playlist on my channel, where I reviewed pretty much all of his films, and many of his films I enjoy. Many of his theatrical movies, from Bloodsport, Death Warrant, Lionheart, Cyborg, Hard Target is my favorite, Time Cop, and there's many of his direct-to-video films I enjoy. Six Bullets was really good, The Shepherd Border Patrol, Until Death, Wake of Death is great. I actually enjoy a film he did called The Order, so there's quite a few of his I enjoy. And I look forward to his TV show, which, from what I understand, he is filming new episodes. I hope that's the case. I really look forward to it, as I really enjoyed the pilot to Jean-Claude Van Johnson. And I know there's a new film that's going to come out soon that he did with Dolph Lundgren called Black Water. Hopefully that'll be better than this. Does this one, I can't blame Van Damme, because Van Damme is one of the good things about it. Because he plays a guy who takes place in this hospital, and a previous thing happened where he has sort of a concussion, and throughout the film he's dizzy, at times he looks sickly, and I thought he handled the acting very well. And he's in this hospital, you think to protect someone, then maybe to kill someone, and these bad guys come in, and he's got to defeat the bad guys, and his ally is this nurse, and the bad guys are led by Daniel Bernhardt, which I thought, wow, that's interesting, the star of the Bloodsport sequels, who was also in John Wick. And then you have the star of the first Bloodsport. And you also have Peter Stormare in the film, who is the devil in Constantine. If you look up Peter Stormare, I think he was in John Wick 2, actually, at the beginning. Maria Conchita Alonso is in the film. I thought, okay, and Van Damme in a hospital setting, kicking bad guy ass, led by Daniel Bernhardt, who's a martial artist, and the star of Bloodsport 2. I thought that's pretty cool, and unfortunately, Van Damme is the only thing I could give credit to, because again, he's playing sort of a different kind of role where he's concussed, sickly, doing the best that he can. But number one, it's pretty boring. Number two, it's tedious. Number three, there's not much action. The reason there's not much action is because Daniel Bernhardt's group that infiltrates this hospital trying to kill Van Damme is probably like 5 or 6 people at most, including Daniel Bernhardt. And it's like, and 2 of those guys get killed by the nurse. So it's like Van Damme doesn't really do a lot of action and fights in it. And then what's there is very mediocre at best. It's nothing that I mean, and I can't say it's because of a budget or it's direct-to-video, because I've seen The Order with Van Damme. That's a direct-to-video film with some really good action set pieces for a low-budget film. Six Bullets has some good sequences of action, as does, Wake of Death. This, though, not so much. I have to wonder if it's because this director is the first film he's directed. It's a guy named Peter Malota. Now, what's interesting, Peter Malota, you've seen him before if you've seen films like Double Impact, because he acted in that film. If you remember Double Impact, the bad guy with the spurs. And I think at the end, he's the guy who kind of went back and forth through the light, and then Van Damme grabbed them and just punched the shit out of them. The bad guy with the spurs, and he was also, I think, the Spanish fighter in The Quest. Mainly after that, he worked a lot with stunt coordinator. He was a stunt coordinator in that piece of shit Seagal movie, The Perfect Weapon. So I guess he's like, oh, that's how you direct movies? No, you should look at Double Impact on how you direct action. Because the action scenes are nothing to run home about. It should have been. There's a Dolph Lundgren film I think is pretty fun called The Defender, where it's Dolph having to protect this person, him and his group, and it almost becomes like an Assault on Precinct 13 type of thing, where these people just keep coming out of the woodwork, and Dolph Lundgren's either beating people up or shooting them, and they just keep coming. And that's a direct-to-video film, The Defender. That's a fun action movie that he directed, Dolph directed. I don't remember if he was supposed to direct it to begin with, but he ended up directing it, and I can't remember. But that's a fun direct-to-video film with a lot of action. Also, the way this film is done, it's in this flashback format, which I hated, because it starts off with the nurse being interrogated by two cops, Maria Conchita Alonso and Peter Stormare, and them asking her and her telling what happened, and then flashbacks to her in the hospital with Van Damme. And anytime you're kind of getting interested with Van Damme in the hospital, it cuts back to these three people talking in a room. I like Peter Stormare and Maria Conchita Alonso, but I'm sorry, they were not. They were just given exposition. That's all they had. And I don't blame Maria Conchita Alonso, but she's given this dialogue where they're trying to make her funny or quirky, and I don't think it really worked. So it's like, oh, I'm getting, oh man, now it's like, oh, I'm getting, no, man, like, stick with Van Damme in the hospital, have him kick tons of bad guy ass, shoot bad guys, punch him in the face. I know he's not 30 years old, 20 years old anymore, but he can still do some stuff. Just have wide shots, let him be able to do what he can. I saw that in Jean-Claude Van Damme in the pilot. I've seen him in other direct-to-video films. Let him do it. And it's like anytime you kind of get into it, or at least there's a chance to, it cuts to this flashback format. And again, there's not much action. Daniel Bernhardt, I thought, was wasted because in the main fight he has with Van Damme, I don't remember Daniel Bernhardt landing one hit on Van Damme. Was this like, I don't know what the deal is. It's like someone said, well, Van Damme's pissed that you did Bloodsport 2, 3, and 4, so you can't punch Van Damme. And I'm like, I don't know what was the case. I'm just saying that's what could be seen from an outsider point of view. But I don't know what happened. I mean, sadly, the stuff that Daniel Bernhardt did with Keanu Reeves was more exciting in the first John Wick film than here with Van Damme. This is like Van Damme beating Daniel Bernhardt up. And then what's weird, there must have been shit cut out because from time to time you look at Van Damme's face and stuff starts appearing. And I'm like, wait a minute. He hasn't punched you yet. He hasn't kicked you in the face yet. But marks start appearing. What's the deal here? That's pretty damn bad. If you don't believe me, watch the film, pay attention to that last fight where Van Damme throws Daniel Bernhardt through this glass and they're outside. Watch his face before he throws him out, then to the end of that fight. Watch how marks start appearing around his face, but it's like, name me sometime where Daniel Bernhardt actually touches him in that end fight. Please tell me. And then at the end, it starts doing these stupid twists, which I'm going to get spoilers right now. And the twist being, oh, well, the nurse wasn't a nurse all along. She was actually working with Van Damme, and she went in and then pretended to be a nurse, knocked out a nurse, took her clothes, and she's lying to these two cops, but she's working with Van Damme. And if you thought that was a twist, even more of a twist, Peter Stormare is also working with Van Damme and the girl. He does a text, like they did a text, and it's Peter Stormare. So yeah, Brie Conchita-Alonso was the only person out of the loop. So I guess Peter Stormare and this girl were just doing this for Maria Conchita-Alonso's sake, I guess. So it's like useless twists, trying to be so clever that it's just like, oh my god, makes my brain hurt. Not that exciting action. People are like, oh, that's being too harsh, man. It's a direct-to-video film. I can name you Jeff Speakman direct-to-video films like Deadly Outbreak and Land of the Free. I can name you Gary Daniels direct-to-video films like Riot and Rage and even Recoil. I can name you Jeff Wincott direct-to-video films like Last Man Standing. I can name you Van Damme direct-to-video films like Wake of Death, Six Bullets, The Shepherd Border Patrol. Isaac Florentine has directed many of them. Undisputed 2 and 3. I haven't seen 4. I don't even know if that's out yet. Blood and Bone, Michael Jai White. That's a really good one. Direct-to-video. These all direct-to-video action films of the past and today that have really fun action or plentiful action or sometimes some really impressive stuff for a low-budget film. That's why I don't give these things a pass, because I've seen them done. And I've given you multiple other action films that have done that. There are plenty of them. Even Steven Seagal, most of his direct-to-video shit I hate, but I even gave credit to Urban Justice and... God, there were a handful more. I fucking forgot what they were. I'm sure I could look them up, but I'm too tired to do it. That's one of those where I'm having insomnia, but yet I'm tired, so just unwinding. But yeah, I was disappointed in the film. It's nothing against Van Damme. It's just, I think if you had a different director and just more action and just have it take place in the hospital. Stick in the hospital setting. Make it Assault on Precinct 13, or if you don't even want to go that route, take a page from Die Hard, or take a page from whatever. I mean, Die Hard in a hospital, or just have these guys coming out of the woodwork, and Van Damme's beating these guys up the best that he can, and have him use the environment, have him use this, I mean, I'm sure there's stuff in a hospital you can use as weapons, plenty of stuff. Stuff that you can make stuff blow up. I've seen Hard Boiled, so I know you could do that. Take this, yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Hard Boiled, that scene in the hospital. I wish Van Damme would do another movie with John Woo. I know that's a random thought process, but man, I really do. Like, this guy's the first time he directed, and it shows. It really does show. These guys need to watch, like, John Wick and John Wick 2 to study action films. Or the films I mentioned before. To study action films, man. I hope the new one with Dolph Lundgren that's coming out whenever is better. Again, I do look forward to his TV show whenever that's going to happen. Which there was a date. By the way, those are just my thoughts and rant on Kill 'Em All, which is a good title for an action film, Kill 'Em All. Which is stupid because killed the 5 people. Well, actually, not even that, because the nurse killed a couple. The nurse. Kill 'em all, but there's not enough to me, there's not enough bodies to earn a title called Kill 'Em All. It's almost to a point of false advertising. And it's funny, as I say that, the fucking sun is rising as if God is saying, yes, Matt, you're right. You're right. It should not be called Kill 'Em All. Hell, take a page from Shoot 'Em Up, which is a fun movie with Clive Owen. Very underrated action movie. Get that director. He's not doing anything else. He like disappeared after that, which is sad. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Kill 'Em All. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. And I think after this will be John Wick and John Wick Chapter 2 sometime. Because I want to watch those films again. See you later.